Recording in progress.
Perfect. Thank you for coming along to this ritual, for those of us who are present and for those of us who are joining us later. Today's ritual is around the Golden Mother, and I think a lot of different people have an idea of what the Golden Mother is or what she looks like, and those are all completely valid, but for me, I think the Golden Mother radiates their light in the darkest moments of life. The archetype of the Golden Mother is one which we all hope to embody, and I think a good few of us achieve for at least part of our life. She is pure and free abundance. She shines her golden light and she stays there. She remains with us even when things are difficult. Her light is unwavering. Even if you turn away from her, she will keep on shining and receive you with loving arms when you are ready to return. The Golden Mother leads by example, not by word. As we move away from this energy of the eclipse, it allows us to shed some of the old and bring into the new, and some of that allows us to bring that archetype of the Golden Mother into our lives and into the way that we conduct ourselves. Today's ritual honours a pain that many of us unfortunately carry in some way, shape or form. We will be honouring the lost mother and the lost child. We're honouring separation and loss. The mothers that we have lost, or the mothering that we didn't receive, or the children that we have lost, or the children that were wanted but never arrived. This is something that may be too fresh or too difficult for some, and that is completely understandable and I think very normal for this kind of topic. If that's the case, you are not obliged to stay. You can turn off your camera, turn off your volume, just step away for as long as you need to. We honour everybody's participation in a way that is meaningful to them. And of course, this ritual is recorded, so if you're watching back from a recording, you're welcome to pause the recording, step away, take all the time that you need. This is about engaging in a way that feels right for you. You know, this isn't the kind of topic that you can go into without feeling ready. So with that in mind, I'll be passing over to Priestess Janet to cast the circle.
Thank you. So I'm going to create sacred space to hold the container of the magic and the intention that we are going to do for this ritual. So, by the earth that is her sacred body, by the air that is her sweet breath, by the fire that is her bright spirit, and by the waters of her sacred womb. I declare this space to be truly sacred. As above, so below. As within, so without. As the universe, so the soul. So mote it be, and blessed be.
Thank you so much, Priestess Janet. I'm going to be sharing a pre-recorded grounding and centering from a priestess who wasn't able to be here with us today.
I invite you to close your eyes and begin by taking a deep breath in and out, allowing yourself a moment to fully arrive in this space and time. And as you settle into your seat, in your mind's eye, I invite you to picture yourself in a beautiful orchard next to a huge, ancient and gnarled apple tree. Its branches are laden with gold and red apples. Allow yourself to rest against the trunk of this wise and ancient tree. Let it support you. It has stood through many storms and can easily bear your weight. As you rest there, imagine roots growing from the soles of your feet down into this fertile soil. Allow your roots to mix and intertwine with the roots of the apple tree. Let it guide you to the mycelium, to the pockets of moisture, to the nutrients given lovingly and freely by Mother Earth. Draw those nutrients up through your roots into your body, allowing the earth to feed your spirit, nourish your heart and soul as you draw her gifts up into your heart space, making you at one with her. As you allow all that the earth gives to be absorbed into your heart, picture a shimmering golden thread rising from your grateful heart up, bathing your throat, your third eye, and then your crown in golden light. Send your thread up through the branches of the tree, wrapping around the golden apples and up into the sky above, through the clouds, out of our atmosphere, and into the infinity of space. Trusting your golden thread to know its path, let it guide you to your own golden mother star, who watches over you always. Your golden thread surges into her arms and sends her love, wisdom, and magic, spiraling down to your crown, to illuminate you, to guide you, to hold you. Allow the essence of your mother star to mingle in your heart space with the essence of your Mother Earth. You are their child, and they hold you safe, fully grounded. Take a deep breath in and out. And when you are ready, bid farewell to the apple tree and open your eyes. Blessed be.
Thank you very much to Priestess Kathy for sharing that with us ahead of time. We're now going to move into calling in the archetypes of Cerridwen, starting with Tina Louise.
Turn with me in your mind's eye to the southwest, to the place of ripening grain and laden branch where the warmth of summer becomes the golden promise of harvest. Croeso, Cerridwen, Mam Aur, golden mother of abundance, whose generous body nourishes and sustains all life. From your earth come the grain and the fruit, the healing herb and the sheltering tree. Your waters quench our thirst, and your soil cradles our seeds, and your great green mantle gives us breath. You provide for us, your children, giving freely from the sacred bounty of your body. Yet teach us never to mistake your generosity for something we may thoughtlessly squander. Your bounty is sacred, not endless, a gift entrusted to our care, not a treasure to be hoarded or plundered. Teach us gratitude. made visible through action, to take only what we need, to waste nothing, to restore what we've used, and to protect the soil, forests, waters, and skies upon which all this depends. Remind us that your table is not laid from humankind alone. Those who run, crawl, swim, and fly, and those who grow from root, seed, leaf, and spore, are all your children. All belong within your living web, and all share equally in your gifts. Mam Air, come into this circle, awaken within us generous hearts, grateful hands, and the wisdom to cherish what you provide, so that those who come after us may also know your abundance. And we breathe your nurturing energy in with gratitude. Hail and welcome, Cerridwen, Golden Mother, Mam Air, and we bring your abundant energy into our centre. Blessed be.
Cerridwen, initiatrix, keeper of the cauldron, dark bright mother, who comes to us at the season of Samhain, when the veil is thin. Be with us, dark mother, in times of transformation, when we need your love, your guidance, and your wisdom. In every time there is an ending, we know too that there is also a beginning. In every time when the shadows loom large, we know there is always light, for it is light that creates the shadows. Be with us in the difficult times, hold our hand, help us to understand that everything is for a reason, that your love is always there to hold us, that we are never alone. Beautiful, dark, bright mother of transformation and change, we breathe your loving energy in. Hail and welcome, Cerridwen, initiatrix, keeper of the cauldron, and we bring your energy into our center. Blessed be.
Blessed be. In your mind's eye, please return with me to the northeast, where great and welcome Cerridwen Suenraik. Crueso Cerridwen Suenraik, dancing queen of earth and in your hearts, and thank you very much, your healing queen, and thank you for the solar eclipse yesterday. It was so great, it was so powerful, it was so very, very good for us. Thank you very much, you great healer. We breathe your lovely energy in with gratitude and bring you in the center. Blessed be. Hail and welcome, Cerridwen Suenraik.
Turn with me in your mind's eye to the southeast, to the place where light grows warm and where breath meets flame and love awakens into life. Croeso Cerridwen, Calon o Gariad, heart of love, whose sacred fire burns within every living being. Golden Mother, you who hold all your children within your boundless heart, the cherished and the forgotten, the joyful and the grieving, the strong and the struggling, teach us the truth of mother love. The love that does not ask us to earn it, the love that sees beyond the face, beyond difference, beyond fear and judgment, and whispers, "You are mine, you are beloved, you belong." Remind us that we are not separate, that we are children of one mother, born of her ancient body, her waters flowing through our blood, her minerals forming our bones, her breath moving through our lungs, her fire kindled within our hearts. Human, animal, tree, and stone, river, ocean, mountain, and wind. Each of us is a thread within her living web, each life sacred, each life connected to the whole. May we remember what touches one sends ripples through us all. May the love we offer one another become the love through which our Mother Earth is healed. Callan o Gariad, come into this circle. Open our hearts to the love that excludes no one and help us recognize one another as the beloved children of the Mother. And we breathe in your loving energy with gratitude. Hail and welcome, Cerridwen Callan o Gariad, and we bring your loving energy into our centre, and blessed be. And now, if you bring your awareness to the centre itself, to the still point of the turning wheel, to the place where every direction meets all, things become one. Croeso, Cerridwen, Maestres hyd ar dirgelwch, mistress of magic and mystery, keeper of the cauldron, mother of inspiration and transformation. You are the heart within the circle and the sacred thread that weaves all life together. You are the love that kindles within us, the earth that nourishes us, the darkness that transforms us, and the mystery from which all life is born. Your cauldron is the womb of creation, holding death and birth, sorrow and joy, shadow and light, but not as opposites, but as strands of one great mystery woven together. Remind us that the magic we seek is not separate from the living world. It moves through root and river, and through fur and feather, and flesh and stone, and through every child of Mother Earth, and through the unseen bonds that are between us, that we can only sense. Cerridwen, mistress of magic and mystery, come into the heart of this circle. Stir your cauldron within us. Awaken our wisdom. Awaken our connection. Open us to the mystery that lives within us and around us. We breathe in your magical energy with gratitude. Hail and welcome, Cerridwen, Maestres hyd ar dirgelwch. And will you now join with me in singing the 3 Arwens? Awen. 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 Blessed be. And now it is my pleasure to hand over to the beautiful Janet Parfitt, who will be doing a wonderful, interesting piece on astrology of the season for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. And there is a lot going on in the stars at the moment, so I could talk to you for about 4 hours, but I won't. You'll be glad to know. As I'm sure everyone who's in the Northern Hemisphere at least, and probably everyone else too, knows, there was an eclipse yesterday, a powerful eclipse, as beautiful Cornelia has already said. And the eclipse was in Leo, 20 degrees of Leo. And Leo is very much about being seen, ruled by the sun. It is this, how we see ourselves, how we look at ourselves. And the shadow of the sun is the kind of egotistical narcissism. We get that a lot, unfortunately, nowadays. I'm not going to get political, but I'm sure I don't need to. That narcissistic quality that some certain leaders have. And it's asking us to look at ourselves and how we shine. When we shine in a beautiful, positive way, we're creative, we're helpful, we're kind, and we lift everybody else up with us. When we're being a narcissist, we trample at other people just so that we can be seen and only us. So I ask you to look at yourself, and I'm sure if you're a priestess or a priest, you do this already, and make sure that you are shining and helping others to shine and not doing the trampling thing. An eclipse is also not the best time to make important decisions. because the nature of an eclipse is something is always hidden. The sun is behind the moon, or the moon is behind the sun. And it often means that the facts are not all readily available. So it's not a good time to make a really important decision. It's wait 2 or 3 days if you can. And then you'll often find that something that has been hidden will be revealed, and you'll be like, oh yeah, good job I didn't make that decision then, because I didn't have all the facts. I couldn't have known X, Y, and Z. So it's just a case of waiting for that intense eclipse energy to pass before you make any really important decisions. We have some lovely connections going on with the outer planets as well, which is a really positive thing. It's like they're all holding hands with each other. It's very beautiful, actually, because we have, it's Neptune in the center in Aries, Pluto kind of over here in Aquarius, and then Uranus over here in Gemini. And they're making this triangular shape, which is a really nice connection between the three of them. So it's really harmonious and really nice connection going on. Venus has now just gone into Libra, which is Venus's happy place. So she's very happy over there. We have Chiron in Taurus, which is, it's about, Chiron is the wounded healer. And it's asking us in Taurus, which is about money and about finance and about values, what wounds we have around money, what wounds we have around finances. And poverty consciousness is one of those, thinking that you're not worthy of whatever it is of value, thinking you don't deserve things. That's something that could be looked at this time. So to me, there's a lot of emphasis on the feminine. With Venus in Libra, we've got Lilith in a very strong position at the moment, whereas poor old Mars is stuck in Cancer, and he hates being in Cancer. He's not happy there. He's quite emasculated there. So the male energy is having a bit of a hard time, but the female energy is powering forward. Bearing in mind, in the solar eclipse, it's the moon, the feminine, in front of the sun. So it's like the female energy is at this time more powerful than the solar energy is. So there's a lot of things going on. And as I say, I could talk for hours, but I'll leave you with that for now. Thanks for listening. Blessed be.
Thank you so much. We're going to pass over to, I'm very sorry, it might show up in a slightly odd way, because I'm trying to pull up the recording of our lovely priestess Kimberly, but unfortunately we may be seeing her sideways, so if that occurs, I am very sorry. Let's just confirm this audio is coming through.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Priestess Kim.
Is that audio coming through? Excellent. I'm sorry that she's sideways.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Priestess Kimberly, and I have a poem, a channeling almost, that came through to share with you all this particular dark moon ritual, and I'll share that with you now. Cerridwen, you golden mother, who steps in when our own mother is lost to us, gone from us, unreachable, or simply beyond the veil, present only as ancestor for a time. How we feel, goddess, your cloak of love around us. You whisper to soothe, dear shining mother, and we are grateful. You, golden mother, who relishes our achievements and comforts in crisis and tear-stained days. We are held in your gaze as beloved child, and we know peace in your embrace. And golden mother, You hold us as pearl mothers ourselves, whose birthing in of child was not to pass as hoped or planned. A myriad of scattered stars are beautiful, not to be with us fully children. And we know you care for them as you care for us. And we see them like glitter upon your cloak of love. Your care supports us to tend them from afar, to tend our deep grief, to mother them still. A mirror you hold up to remind us we too are mothered, mother and child. Not lesser, not unloved or unlovable, not without fragments of that stardust of our child in our bodies and in our blood. Forever held as you hold, forever loved as you love, honoured and in honour. To you, Golden Mother, blessed be.
So now it's time to come to the ritual. This ritual is a ritual of separation and healing. It's honouring the lost mother and the lost child. So this is the part where we'll be talking about that most expressly. So if this is too fresh, this is possibly a good time to step away. This is a ritual that you may want to do for yourself at home. We have here the mother candle and here the child candle. I'll come back to that. The placement of these is as it is because we're not seeking a specific outcome of reunification for this, because it's going for a lot of different mothers and children. But if you were to do this ritual yourself, you would bring these two candles closer together in the principles of sympathetic magic. Cerridwen, keeper of the sacred cauldron, goddess of transformation, death and renewal, lacrimosa, healer of the soul's wounds, come to us now in this space of honest grief. Today we gather here for all who have been severed from the source, for mothers who hold emptiness where a child's hand should be, for children who were not mothered themselves, for those taken by death, for those who are missing, for those taken by circumstance, for those who never came to be, for those whose names cannot be spoken without pain. Cerridwen, walk beside us through this. We offer you our honest grief. May our hearts be held gently. Mother, we light from you the candle of the mother. From the eternal flame, I kindle what was given. From the source, I carry forward what cannot be extinguished. Even when the band breaks and the bond breaks, the spark remains. Gaze into the flame of this mother candle. You may name it silently, aloud, or not at all. It may be your own mother, the mother that you needed, a mother who has died, a mother who has disappeared, or it may represent you. However this candle represents your relationship, let it mean that thing fully. If you have a candle with you, you may hold this candle. It will be the same for the child candle, and draw a golden thread of light, joining this mother candle and through to you and your own candle that you hold. From the first light, the second is born. Blood or spirit chosen or given. We honour the line that runs between. Whatever came after, love, distance, silence, or passing, this moment holds all of it. Draw your attention also to the child flame, to the child candle. This may represent a child that you have lost, a soul that you wished for but that could not come to be with you, and it may also represent you. You may draw a golden thread from this candle through to your own, and you may name it. If you are a child of loss, then I invite you to place your hands on your own arms, like you're giving yourself a cuddle, and to receive the following words. Cerridwen, Dark Mother, may we feel your loving embrace. May we be held by your warmth, kindled by your fires of inspiration. May you hold a safe place for us. And in your name, I honour my motherline. I honour the women upon women that have brought me to this world. I honour my mother or those who have mothered me in her space. I honour my pain for what I have lost or what I needed but did not receive. I turn to myself now. I turn to the part of me that never left. I mother myself. I witness myself. I feed what is hungry. I speak kindly to what is frightened. I remember what once was. I celebrate what has survived. And if you are a parent of loss, you may place your hand onto your own womb or to your own heart, whichever feels right for you. There are no words for a loss such as this, but we try to find the words that we can. We grieve what was lost. We grieve the touch that we cannot give. We grieve the years that we will not see. We grieve the love that has nowhere to land. But we also name what remains. Your child is honoured tonight, even if their name has not been spoken anywhere else. This candle is for them. It belongs to them, it honours them, and it is in this world. They are real, and they are present, and they are remembered, even if it's just by you. But Cerridwen remembers and holds them close to her heart. The mother that you are is true. The love that you have given and that you still have to give does not vanish. Cerridwen, hold it with us until we are able to hold it alone. I invite you to open your hands as we give a blessing to the wider. We honour the mothers and the children who are lost. We send healing light to all of them, from those in places of war or genocide, their families disappearing, to those in complex family dynamics, where both remain in this world but are lost to each other for whatever reason. Cerridwen, we call to you to bring healing. Where there is resolution or closure, we pray that you may guide it and guide us to the highest good of all involved. We ask you, Cerridwen, to speak their names, to watch over their souls. As the light passes from Cerridwen to the mother, to the child, so it returns. and so it is known. These candles will continue to burn for the rest of the ritual, and both the mother and the child candle will be wrapped up and placed somewhere gentle and watched over for a few days and a few nights. If there are any names that you would like to be spoken to them, then you can message me or you can put it in the chat, and I will speak those names for the next 3 days and 3 nights. Blessed be. I'm going to hand over to Priestess Tina to speak the story of Morfran.
Lovely. Thank you, Rowan. I'm quite speechless, actually. That was absolutely beautiful and extremely emotional. That's, wow. It's, it blew me away there. Okay, the story is called A Mother's Love. And for those who are not familiar with the story of Morfran, he is the son of Cerridwen and Tegid Foel. And in the old tales, he is described as so dark and fearsome in appearance that others recoiled from him. Yet Cerridwen, seeing beyond the face that the world would judge, sought to give her son the greatest gift that she could, the gift of wisdom, beauty, and inspiration. And it was for Morfran that she brewed the contents of her great cauldron for a year and a day, setting in motion the events that would lead to the birth of Taliesin. So as I sat with this familiar story, I found myself wondering about the part that we are seldom told. What did Cerridwen experience when Morfran first came into this world? Did she know beforehand what awaited for him? I mean, as a witch and a seer and a goddess walking in earthly form, how much could she see? How much remained still hidden from her? And even those who perhaps glimpse the threads of what may come still have to live through each moment as it unfolds. And beneath all Cerridwen's power, wisdom and mystery, there was also a mother, giving birth to her child, fearing for him, loving him, and perhaps in that first moment making a promise that would one day change everything. And this is the story that came from those wanderings, called A Mother's Love. The little girl with the red gold hair ran excitedly into the grand old house, clutching a large bag full of herbs. "I found some, Mamma. I found raspberry leaves and yarrow." Her beautiful small face was flushed pink from running with the herb bag. Her eyes, the colour of warm honey, sparkled with pride. Her red gold hair wet from the rain that hadn't stopped for 3 days. She was followed by an old woman with a back bowed like a fisherman's hook, puffing and wheezing. Cerridwen smiled at her daughter as she took the bag from her. Only 4 years old, and she already had a keen eye for herbs. "These are perfect, Criery. You did well," she said, before frowning at the old woman, still wheezing, as she leant against the door, and then said, "Mairid, just sit down before you collapse. I told you before, do not run around after Criery. She knows her way home well enough." "Aye, she knows how to find trouble well enough too," muttered the old woman as she sank gratefully onto the large wooden chair, her painful joints warping and responding to the wet weather like unpainted wood. Cerridwen put on some water to boil and prepared the raspberry leaves to make a tea, which she planned to drink daily for the next month until her baby arrived. Her hand automatically touched her swollen abdomen, and she felt the babe move under her hand. Her son. She knew it was a boy, just like she knew Criery was a girl. She wouldn't have been a very good witch if she hadn't known, right? But then Mairid had known too. Mairid had known right from the start. Cerridwen eyed the crooked old bat with suspicious affection. She could literally foretell the future from anything. Tea leaves, candle wax, cherry pips in a bowl, fire flames, chicken bones. Tegid joked that she could read the sweat of his bald head if she wanted to. But every so often, Cerridwen would catch her looking at her swollen stomach and just briefly frowning, before quickly looking away again. This worried her, because deep down she was also feeling unsettled in herself, an odd feeling deep within her that something wasn't quite right. And then the dreams started, a jumble of images. Some were clear, some were hazy like fog, her cauldron bubbling and then screaming, a black river of poison flowing. There was feelings of betrayal and anger and chasing something she couldn't quite see, then pain, and then a crying babe in her arms, one so beautiful it almost hurt to look at him, her son, and yet she still felt more pain and deep in her heart. And then when she awakened, drenched in sweat, she knew that her dreams were never just dreams. They were often glimpses of possible futures, and she fretted. She turned her attention back to making the raspberry leaf tea, which would prepare her body for an easier delivery, and told herself she was worrying about phantoms. And when suddenly a sharp pain knifed through her abdomen and her waters pooled around her feet, she felt dizzy, and she cried out as a second pain ripped through her womb. Crairy ran to her mother, her honey-brown eyes wide with worry, as Cerridwen fell to the floor, clutching her stomach. A shocked Mairead shouted for help as Cerridwen moaned, and little Crairy started to cry. "Oh, hush, child, it's the babe, that's all. He's coming. Just go and get your father. Tell him to be quick. His son will arrive soon." Mairead gently wiped the tears from the little girl's face and hurried her out the door. Now Tegid Foyle was on the other side of the settlement, in the forge, waiting to try out a new sword, which still glowed in the coals as the weaponsmith beat it with a large hammer. Tegid had to duck his bald head to avoid the rafters. At almost 8 foot tall, Tegid was a giant of a man, lean, powerful. He had almond-shaped eyes and very slightly pointed ears, a legacy from his Fey ancestors. He had a fiery temper and didn't suffer fools gladly, but his heat-reddened face just lit up when he heard his daughter's voice calling him. Seconds later she burst in. Her red-gold hair was now plastered to her head. Her tunic was soaked with rain. Tegid absent-mindedly rubbed his own head, vaguely remembering the feel of hair that was now long gone, but the same red-gold in colour. "Tad! Tad!" sobbing little girl attached herself like a clump of wet cleaver to his leg. "Mama, the baby!" Her words were punctuated with sobs, and Tegid felt his blood run cold as he scooped her up and began his thundering run back to the big house, his mind racing with worry. It was too soon. She had at least another month to go. By the time he arrived, the house was filled with bustling women who were boiling water and preparing rags and tea, and there was a strong odour of wood smoke and pungent herbs. He made his way quickly to the main bedroom. Was that blood they were cleaning from the floor outside the door? The coppery scent filled his nostrils as he heard his beloved scream. When he entered the room, he saw Cerridwen on her hands and knees, drenched in sweat, labouring on the bed. 3 older women, one of which was Mairead, fussed around her. Their faces were etched with concern as more blood and fluid flowed onto the already blood-stained sheets. Tegid stood in shock for the briefest of moments. He remembered the birth of the frightened little girl in his arms. His beloved wife was calm and in control, and her labour progressed smoothly and swiftly, and right from the, aided by her herbs and her potions, and the whole process. It barely lasted more than a few hours from the first pang. But this was carnage by comparison. He rushed to her side. He placed Crairy on the floor beside the bed and offered his large calloused hand to his beloved. She looked up at him, her beautiful silvery blue eyes, which reminded him of moonlight on the surface of a lake. They were wet with tears of pain and filled with fear. This shocked Tegid again. In all the years they had been together, he had never once seen her show fear. She was strong, bold, self-assured, a confident and powerful sorceress, both feared and admired by all. But to him she was so much more. She was goddess-made flesh, this ethereal beauty with her silver eyes and obsidian hair, who glowed with a light that was both dark and bright, something he could clearly see with his otherworldly Fey sight. She was his great love, a part of his very soul. With her, he felt whole. He was complete. He was a better version of himself. His selfish excesses and temper could be soothed by just one touch of her hand, or one amused look and a raised brow. The thought of life without her made his blood run cold. They had made a pact to return to a noon together when their earthly experience was done. So why was she not using her magic to help herself? The hours passed in slow agony. Tegid watched as the sun slowly set and the torches and lanterns were lit. Mairead advised him in a solemn tone that it was now a dry birth. All of her waters had flowed away and the baby was breech and was not in the right position to come out, settling instead against his mother's hip. Tegid regarded the wizened old crone with rising anger before growling in a low and dangerous tone, "Do something! Help her! Why isn't she using her magic?" Mairead, despite being only 5 foot tall, looked up at the towering giant, unfazed, eyes direct and unafraid, as she replied, "Well, could you cut a butterfly from its chrysalis unharmed whilst a wolf was chewing on your intestines, you silly man? Wielding magic takes safety. He's concentration and focus, lest the energies run amok, and then do more harm than good. Your wife, she knows this. We are trying to manually move your son into position. Now make yourself useful or leave." Tegid was momentarily speechless as he watched the crone shuffle back to the bedside and start barking instructions at the other women. As Cerridwen started to scream with another contraction, her body writhing with pain, wanting so badly to push but knowing that she couldn't. Tegid looked over at the chair where his little daughter was now sleeping fitfully. She was exhausted, her tear-streaked face frowning as she mumbled in her sleep. And then he returned to his beloved's side. The night was long. The old women worked tirelessly, trying over and over to move the babe into position. Tegid, despite his irritation with the old crone Mairead, had to just admire her stamina and determination. She refused to rest, directing the others, tending to Cerridwen. Her crooked fingers were pressing and pushing and massaging the swollen belly, gently wiping her brow with cool, wet cloths. And then he saw it. The briefest exchange of looks between the old wise woman and his beloved. It was a barely perceptible nod of that wizened head as Tegid watched the light go out of his wife's eyes and her jaw set in resignation. Putting both hands on her swollen abdomen, Cerridwen began to mumble words and her hands started to glow. The air in the room grew thick with static, as every shadow seemed to come alive and move towards the bed. Tegid could taste earth and blood in his mouth as the room darkened. The lanterns started flickering out one by one. This was the old magic. This was the primordial magic of blood and bones from which the very world itself was created. Cerridwen arched her back and let out one final scream before collapsing back against the pillows. The women were quickly relighting the lanterns before gasping with shock and stepping away from the bed. Silence. Blessed silence. No, not blessed, not now. There should be newborn cries and laughter and joy, not silence. Cerridwen lay exhausted. The prolonged labour and her desperate use of the ancient magic had left her barely able to move. And from the silence, she knew something was very wrong. Yet she still clung to the vision in her dream, the one where she held a beautiful child with a shining brow. Tegid saw the tiny dark form on the bed, still and unmoving, on the blood-stained sheets. And suddenly, just as Mairead cut the cord of the babe, he saw the tiny hand clench tight. Moving quickly, with one huge hand, he scooped up the infant, gently resting his thumb against the babe's chest. He felt something, a tiny flutter, like moth wings against his flesh. A heartbeat. But the child had still yet to breathe. Its misshapen lips were blue, and the skin beneath the thick, dark hairs which covered its tiny body, was grey and pale. He blew gently across the child's mouth, and then turned quickly to Cerridwen with the words, "Your breath, my love. Give him your breath." He handed the tiny infant to her as she looked at him, eyes widening in shock, before gently blowing 3 times into her newborn son's mouth. She watched his little chest rise and fall with each breath, before he eventually gasped in a lungful of air himself and then bellowed loudly. Cerridwen gazed at her son in disbelief. This was not her vision, and yet this poor tiny creature with his misshapen face and skin covered in thick dark hair was her son, her and Tegid's firstborn son. What had she done? Was this her fault? Had she lost control of the magic? She'd had no choice. When she exchanged that last desperate look with Mairid, they both knew she had no choice. Use magic or die together with her unborn son. She was aware of her darkness inside. It was a part of her. It was her. She'd never feared it. Not until now. She looked up at Tegid with stricken eyes and asked, "Is this my darkness?" Suddenly, the little girl with the red gold hair stood by the bed, her honey eyes wide with wonder. A little smile played across her lips as she reached out to hold the tiny hand in hers, and then giggled as her infant brother tried to suckle noisily on her thumb. She leaned in close and whispered to him, "Don't worry, little brother. I will look after you, and people will see there's nothing to worry about. With my love, you will shine." In that very moment, Cerridwen saw his future, one where he would be feared and shunned. She saw the eyes of the women in the room and Mairid's sad expression. No, she wouldn't let this happen. She would find a way for him to be reborn as that beautiful child in her vision. She would not, she could not let suffering be his fate. Tegid, who was closely watching his beloved wife's face, saw her frowning. So leaning over, he kissed her lightly on the forehead before saying with a wink, "Well, at least we now know what happened to all my hair." Cerridwen paused briefly before laughing out loud, the oppressive atmosphere in the room lifting immediately at her infectious chuckle. He caught Mairid looking at him, her mouth set grim like a bulldog chewing a wasp. She knew something more, and for the briefest of moments he had a flash. He saw in his mind a vision of a cracked cauldron and a poisoned land and another beautiful child floating away in a pig-belly skin, whilst his beloved wept beside a river. And it left him with a feeling of cold foreboding. But he would stand beside her, whatever her future choices were to be, because he loved her, and he loved his son and would do all he could to prepare him for what he knew would be a hard life of judgments and cruelty. He pulled back the drapes on a new dawn, a blackbird heralding the sunrise as the rain finally stopped, and knowing full well his wife would remake the world itself to protect her child, he could only watch and wait to see what would come from a mother's love for her son. The end. Thank you, and blessed be. And now I'll hand you back to the beautiful Rowan, who has got the golden cauldron of healing for us.
Thank you so much for that wonderful story. So the visualization that I'd like to take you through today is based off of the Celtic, it's more Irish, the 3 cauldrons, the cauldron of warming, the cauldron of motion, and the cauldron of wisdom. It's important to understand that this practice isn't about getting over loss. Some things you can't just get over, and they'll always be there in some way. This is more about carrying what you carry differently. Sometimes that means lighter, sometimes it just means shared. Some Celtic traditions hold that these cauldrons might be upside down at certain life stages, and this meditation invites them upright, but only for your highest good. To trust what arises. If something doesn't feel right, let it go. Your grief is valid, your process is yours alone. There's no timeline or right way. So taking in just one gentle breath, recentering yourself into your body. I'd like you to bring your awareness down towards the bottom of your being, that place where your yoni space meets the earth, right at your lower abdomen. I want you to see in your mind's eye a golden cauldron resting here, steady and right side up. Its colour is a beautiful amber, the warm hue of healthy blood, strong bone, living muscle, like embers that you do not need to tend, burning steady as a stone warmed by afternoon sun, the beautiful autumnal leaves on a tree. This cauldron glows with the colour of strength that you haven't lost yet. In grief, we sometimes forget that we are still bodies, still breathing and still alive. This cauldron holds this vitality, even if it's not immediately apparent to us. Feel its warmth and its strength radiating outwards through your legs, anchoring you to the ground, your belly softening where tension has gathered, your back, the strength of your spine, and into any cold spots, any frozen areas, and any ache that feels stuck. Let the ember light meet you where you are. You don't have to heal anything. You don't have to fix the heaviness. Just allow warmth to settle around you, like a blanket that someone's tucked in for you. Your body is a vessel of healing. You are grounded. You are held. This is the cauldron of warming. Its only job is to remind you that you are still here and you are still living. Now, please allow that amber warmth to drift upward to the centre of your chest. Here lives another cauldron, this one shimmering with liquid gold, the colour of rushing sun-glimmering water, dancing flames, blooming flowers. See it right side up at your heart, spinning gently clockwise, not forcing it, just turning, like the wind rippling across the pond, like steam rising from hot water, like Cerridwen, her cauldron. Grief lives in the heart, we know that. So this cauldron holds your grief, but alongside it, it's here to show you that what you feel has room to move and to change, that emotion is fluid and not set in stone. As it stirs, see as your grief melts, changing slowly. This won't all happen right now, but this is possible, that this transmutation can occur. As frustration flows outward, comes up bubbling from the bottom, that heavy, resinous emotion is slowly warmed and rising. And joy bubbles in little bits to the surface when it's ready. From all of that heaviness and that resin and that difficulty and that unseen, sometimes little glimmers will come up. Anything that has pulled or hardened in your chest, anything you've been holding on really tightly to, feel it loosening now, just a bit. Not leaving, just changing shape. And maybe there will be tears that come, maybe anger will rise, maybe numbness cracks and something softer and more liminal slips through. And all of it is at home in this cauldron. There's nothing wrong with what's moving, and there's nothing wrong with what's staying as it is. This is the cauldron of motion. It doesn't ask you to be healed, it asks you to stay fluid, to trust that even this grief has a rhythm, even when it feels endless, that there is a destination somewhere, even if it can't be seen. Now lift your awareness higher, above your crown. A third cauldron floats here, crowned with silver gold flame, lighter, brighter, like morning mist as it catches the sun before it burns away. This one is upright and clear. You can look into its depths if you can bear it. If not, just let its glow rest above you. Sometimes grief can make us lose perspective, make us forget who we were before or who we're going to be after. This cauldron holds the version of you, the higher self that exists beyond the pain. It exists to remind you that there is still light, Not a light that you need to earn or as a reward for your suffering, but it's yours. You can see the cauldron overflowing slightly and blessing all below it with this gentle illumination. You don't have to understand everything within its depths, but it asks that you are open enough to gently let it in. Now please bring your attention to all of them at once. Feel that amber glow at your sacral and your base, the liquid gold at your heart, and the silver gold flame above your head. 3 cauldrons glowing now. Their light connects in a continuous spiral from the heart to the head, down to the abdomen, spiralling out. A luminous column running from earth to sky through your own body. Warmth rising, motion moving, and wisdom descending. They form one dark, bright, golden flame, one healing current, one path through the grief that you carry. This will stay with you. This has always been yours, and it was never lost, even when you couldn't feel it, even when the pain was too loud for you to reach into your own body. It was there, and it was waiting. When you're ready, gently bring your attention back to the room. Feel the surface beneath you, the air on your skin. Hear whatever sounds reach you. Take one more breath and let it land where it wants to. Know that these cauldrons don't disappear now that you've opened your eyes. They're waiting, and you can go back to them whenever you like. They're always open. Blessed be. I'd like to share with you, to gently round us off, a song that was written by my spiral sister, who has weaved this ritual behind the scenes but hasn't been able to join us today because of personal circumstances. But this is her words, and we have much gratitude for her bringing them to us. I'm going to have another quick sip of water so that I'm not too croaky. Lady, stir your cauldron well, sing your words and chant your spell. Round the fire wisdom flows, from the seed the Arwen grows. In the lake, deep and wide, ancient mysteries here to guide. Stir your cauldron patiently, don't be fooled by what you see. Strength will rise inside of thee, turning doubt to clarity. Breath of night and embered air, truth is slowly forming there. Ash and silence mix and fade with every fear you ever made. Stir your cauldron, don't resist. Dark and light can coexist. Hearts will heal so naturally, filled with warmth and unity. Cared when your blessings flow through the seas, we bend and flow. Priestess, healer, singer, guide, you are always by my side. Priestess of the sacred flame, who calls us gently by our name, to follow the path and mend our soul, to guide us and make us whole. Blessed be. And now I will pass over to Priestess Jane Louise to bring us to our farewells and allow Cerridwen to return to her temple. Blessed be.
Blessed be. Okay. Diolch, Cerridwen, Calon o Gariad, Heart of Love. We thank you for your presence within our circle this evening and for holding us within your boundless heart. And thank you for reminding us that true mother love asks nothing in return, that it sees beyond difference, fear and judgment and calls every child beloved. And as we prepare to leave this sacred space, may we carry your golden flame within us. May we remember that we are never truly separate, and that the same waters flow through our blood, the same earth forms our bones, and the same sacred breath moves through us all. Farewell, and bide well in your temple. Cerridwen Calon o Gariad. Blessed be.
Thank you, Cerridwen Suenreich, for being with us. Thank you so very much. Farewell and be well in your temple. Blessed be.
Blessed be. Diolch, Cerridwen Initiatrix, Keeper of the Cauldron. Thank you for the deep transformation that we have felt tonight. We are so grateful for all that you bring to us. Farewell and bide well in your temple, Cerridwen Initiatrix, Keeper of the Cauldron. Blessed be.
Diolch, Cerridwen Mam Aur, Golden Mother of Abundance. We thank you for your presence within our circle this evening and for the countless gifts through which you sustain us. Thank you for the food that nourishes us, the waters that refresh us, the trees that shelter us, and the living earth beneath our feet. And as we leave this sacred space, may we take only what we need, share what we have, waste nothing, and restore wherever we can. May our choices honour them. May our hands protect the gifts they share with us. And may we leave behind us more healing than harm, more life than loss, and more gratitude than greed. Farewell and bide well in your temple. Cerridwen Mam Aur. Blessed be. And diolch, Cerridwen, Mistress of Magic and Mystery, Maestres Hyd Dirgelwch, Keeper of the Cauldron, we thank you for your presence here with us within the heart of our circle, and thank you for reminding us that we are woven into one living mystery, that the magic within us is the same magic that moves through earth, water, creature, root and sky. Though this circle now opens, may your cauldron continue to stir within us. May we carry its wisdom into our lives, recognizing the sacred in ourselves, in one another, and in every child of Mother Earth. Farewell, and bide well in your temple, Cerridwen Maestres Hyd Dirgelwch. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Thank you so much. When I am closing a circle, I like to sing the little song, so I would be honoured if you would join in with doing it. May the circle be open but unbroken. May the love of the goddess be forever in your heart. Merry meet and merry part and merry meet again. Thank you all for a beautiful ritual and for all your contributions. Blessed be.